Right, welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'll be going over the Flux Engine. The Flux Engine is one of my strategies. Basically, that's only available in the Legacy Prime plan. And then I'll also give you guys a sneak peek of my news indicator called the Legacy Sniper Bot. But that's not going to be released until probably next month. I'm hoping to release that probably in June 1st, hopefully. And then I'll go over a couple of settings with you with the Swift Algo X and with the Conflux. So if you do find value in this video, make sure you do drop a like, leave a comment, and also please subscribe. I do push out weekly uploads every week. And also, if you're new to the channel, my name is Mark. I'm the founder and CEO of Legacy Trades, which is basically an automation trading community that's really geared towards on automation and mostly in the futures market. So without further ado, let's actually dive right into it. So far on my personal live cash account, I do use NinjaTrader. I'm actually over $83,000 on this one, and also my Top Step account. I am maintaining 5 funded accounts so far, and I also passed my Tradify funded account as well. Just one account, so I'll be trading that basically tomorrow, not tomorrow, probably next week on Sunday. So far on my largest account, as you can see, I made over 2.5, almost 2.5k last month. This balance is actually up almost 3.5k. This one's up almost 2,000. This one almost 2,000 as well, and this one just a little over 2,000 as well. But maintaining 500 accounts and also one new account on Tradify as well. So I'll be trading basically 6 funded accounts basically next week, as well as my live account on NinjaTrader. Okay, so let's get right into the strategies. Right, so let's actually begin with the Swift Algo X indicator. If you do want the Swift Algo X indicator, the link will be in my description for that. It is actually my main indicator that I'm actually using basically with passing my evals as well as my funded accounts, and mostly with my personal life cash account as well. So one of my a couple of my members has been using basically the Heikin Ashi candlesticks. So if you know what Heikin Ashi is, Heikin Ashi just means basically average price. It basically just smooths out basically price action. Okay. So they've been enabling Heikin Ashi candlestick. So if you go bar style, just click on Heikin Ashi. That's really all you do, and most of them has been using the 1 minute time frame, and some of them has been using the 1 minute indicator sensitivity, and some is using the 5 minutes. I most likely will be using the 5 minutes. And risk to reward, I'm probably gonna be using 1-to-1. I know some of them use a 0.5 or 0.9, but as for me, I'm probably gonna stick to 1:1. And for the max stop loss size filter, some is using 0.3, and make sure this is enabled. And I know some is using 0.4, but for me, I may stick to 0.3. And then for the EMA, I may stick to 300. I know all of them or most of them is using the EMA 200, but for me, I may actually stick to 300 for the EMA. And then of course, calculated bars, I keep this by default 5,000. And then that's really all you do. And then of course you want to copy the multiply in the period, basically right there, so 8 and 5, because the current setting has to match the backtest setting. And then of course you want to get the Conflux advanced version, make sure this is set to single, make sure this is buy signal only, that's check, and then that's sell signal only, and that's also check as well. And then base quantity on this, where you basically adjust your contract sizing. So I'm only using 4 contracts of M&Q for a funded account, and then I do uncheck on trading windows, and I leave all this by default. Exit method, I choose indicator exit, and then for long TP indicator, I choose take profit. Long SL indicator, I choose stop loss, and short TP indicator, I choose take profit. And then short stop loss indicator, I choose a stop loss, and then that's all I do with this one. Properties, I do check all 3, and if you're using Heikin Ashi, you do have to have this check so the strategy report can be more accurate. And you see bar magnified, this is only available on the premium plan. And then I usually uncheck that. That's really all I do with the Conflux Advanced version. So if you look at the strategy report, give it a few seconds to load. But as you can see, as it's loading, you can actually see the signals on the chart. So yeah, there you go. So you have $7,000 in P&L, over 1.8K in drawdown. It took 62 trades. Profitable trades was 70%. So with a profit factor 2.2, because it rounds out to 2.2. So it's actually pretty profitable within 80, 7.50% win rate. And you probably want to update this at least once per day, at least before Asia session starts. But if only if there's a change. If there's no changes, then obviously you don't do anything. But if it takes a trade and if it loses and that back test, dashboard updates, you update the settings. Or if it took a winner and if it's still updated, then you want to update these settings as well. I usually update at least minimum once per day and basically as much as needed, at least up until I go to sleep. So this was a loser. This was a winner. Winning trade, and you could stretch report. Go to list of trades. I do use 4 contracts of MAQ for a fund account until I actually start getting bigger and balance. Then I'll start adding more contracts. When it comes to evals, I do 1 contract of NQ because I'm more aggressive, basically with evals, because I can pass them a lot faster, like in 3 to 4 days. If you want to play more conservative, you can do 7 contracts of MNQ to give you more room to breathe, or more room for drawdowns, basically. Okay. So it just depends if you want to be aggressive or conservative. For me, I'm more aggressive because if it blows my account, I can easily reset it. So that does not bother me. But of course, not everyone has that type of budget. So you just want to adjust accordingly to whatever your budget allows. So you can see basically the list of trades. I took a lot of winning trades. You can see some of these trades, winners, drawdown, so forth. Okay. And you can, let's go back to, that was actually last 30 days. So I did pretty good last 30 days. How about last 7 days? P&L is 4,000, drawdown 500 with 93% win rate, 15 of 16. Profit factor 11, so that's actually really good. So we're just gonna go back to reset from chart. And the Conflux is available in the legacy basic plan. The link will also be in my description. The benefits of having Conflux is that only 1 alert is created, because you don't make the alert on Swift Algo X. You make the alert on the Conflux. So you click add alert, so only 1 alert is needed. And on top of that, you can also view the strategy report, and those are the stuff you cannot do basically with Swift Algo X, because Swift Algo X is an indicator, it's not a strategy. Conflux basically turns Swift Algo X from an indicator to a full functioning strategy. Okay, so let's actually do the 1 minute indicator sensitivity. So this actually gives us 100% win rate. So let's change the algorithm multiplier to 9 and then pair it to 4 and see what that gives us. So it took 4 out of 4 trades. So not bad. Let's choose last 7 days. Okay, 90% only in 1 losing trade, so that's actually really good still. Okay, about last 30 days. So a lot of my members in my Discord community, like it's exclusive, has been using the Hakinashi candlestick, so that's actually not that. So that's actually really bad. Last 30 days. So 5 minutes. But you can actually play with it, experiment with it. So let's go back last 30 days. The last 30 days may not actually be accurate with a 1 minute indicator sensitivity though. So last 30 days is actually not that good, but oh well. But anyways, but yeah, you want to be updating the settings basically once per day. As you can see, winning trade, and a lot of my members has been passing evals and getting really good payouts using the Hack and Azure candlestick. So I do actually highly recommend doing it. But always, of course, test it on a demo account first before you actually apply to an eval or fund account. And also my standard strategy is also using the regular candlesticks, 1 minute time frame with 5 minute indicator sensitivity, risk one, stop loss size filter, keep it over 3, EMA 300, calculate bars 5,000, then of course 4 contracts of MQ for funded, and then 1 contract of NQ for basically evals. Then of course I always update this at least once per day, and obviously more as needed, just up until I go to sleep. And usually if the first trade is a winner, I'm usually done for the rest of the day. I'm not greedy. There's always trades tomorrow. But if the first trade is a loser, then I'll just keep it on. Then of course, if I have no trades from Asia or London session, then I'll keep New York session on. But if I'm actually happy with the profits from Asia and London session, then there's really no need to trade New York session. So that's basically my strategy using the Swift Algo X as well as the Conflux. Both links will be in my description. All right, so let me actually introduce to the new legacy sniper bot, which is actually basically my newest indicator strategy that will be releasing hopefully in June if May goes well. It's actually in beta testing right now. So this is what it looks like by default settings. So if you go to the settings, so what we're gonna do with this one is, so you basically select first time frame. So these are basically the options. So we're gonna choose 5 minute basically by default. So what that means is first time frame is 5 minutes. Okay, I'm on the 1 minute time frame. So the first time frame has to be higher than the time frame you are trading on. So it uses higher time frame confluent, okay? The second time frame is 15 minutes by default. So we're gonna choose 15 minutes for this example. So meaning both the first and second time frame both has to be met in terms of the logic in order for the signal to actually print, okay? And then I also have an enable RSI filter, but we will keep that off. And then of course a MACD filter, but I will also keep that off by default. And then we have the trade settings. So you can choose points, ticks, pips, or money. In this example, we'll just keep as points, and we're just gonna keep it by default 35 points for take profit and 50 points for stop loss. And then there's also a cooldown after exit in terms of minutes. We'll keep that by default. And then there's also the EMA trend line. So we're gonna enable the EMA filter, and let's make this 200. Okay, so anything above 200 has to be buys, anything below 200 has to be sells, okay? And then of course you know about the martingale feature. If you do use Conflux, same concept there. I'm not gonna explain the martingale in this video. I'll be making another video all based on the legacy sniper bot, the entire thing. But if you do use Conflux, you're familiar with the section. And then of course break-even feature. If you do use Conflux, you are familiar with the section. But I will also re-explain it basically in a different video. And then of course trading windows, I do actually leave this checked by default. And then of course if you're trading future prop firms, you probably want to have that check so you can close by the end of the New York session. And then we have, you know, max day trade limits, daily profit limit, daily loss limit. If you do actually use Conflux, you're familiar with the section. And then of course I also added basically max trades per session. So you can actually enable Asia session, London and New York session. Let's say you want to take 1 trade per session. You can adjust that right there. And then for properties, let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So under martingale, This is where you're gonna adjust the contract size, okay? So let's say you want to do 4 contracts of M and Q. This does not have to be checked. This automatically applies. So it's 4 contracts of M and Q. And then on bar close has to be checked. I use this one. I like to keep all 3 checked. Ooh, yeah, it's not letting me click this at all. Then this is too redundant. So I'm gonna remove these labels. Because we already have these strategy signals on the chart anyways. I don't need this extra data. I'm gonna uncheck that. Visibility, you leave it as is. And that's really all I do. So as you can see, we do have a profit factor of 2.6 with basically 79% win rate, 44 trades, total P&L almost 6,000, drawdown 914. If you do list of trades, you'll see. So basically it takes 280 for TP and 400 if it's a stop loss. So that's for, let's go back last 7 days. So last 7 days only lost 2 trades with 88%, profit factor 5 for 3,006 over 600 in drawdown. Let's see last 30 days. Last 30 days, not too bad. Just over 4,000 in P&L. So let's see. Let's actually uncheck these 3 and let's see what it gives us. So it gives us more, over 12,000 P&L, 2,000 drawdown, 67% win rate, profit factor 1.5. That's last 30 days. Let's do last 7 days. So almost the same with the 1 trade per session. And then reset back to chart. So 72% win rate, 1.8. Over 11,000 P&L, 1.7K. So basically, yeah, it basically uses higher time frames logic in order to actually generate signals. So it will actually generate a long signal with a TP level and a stop loss level. So there was 2 big issues I was actually facing this week. One of the big issue was actually repainting. Hopefully that is fixed, but I will only know next week. I've been having some repainting issues, but hopefully that did got fixed, but I will know next week. And also the second biggest issue I was having with the legacy sniper bot is actually the alerts. I would get the alert, but there's no signal. The signal comes maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes after the alert. Hopefully I did got that fixed because I was testing it today after the market close, but I did actually tested that on the crypto market. Since crypto market is actually 24/7, I was actually I was actually checking the signals out, and it's been working correctly. So all of these trades starting from this vertical line, I got the signal and the alert with it. So the alert, hopefully that did get fixed because it worked with the crypto. I did not see any signs of repainting at all with the crypto market, but I'll find out with the futures market, okay? But that is the legacy sniper bot. Hopefully that will be released next month, but that will only be available on the legacy prime plan. Right, so this is the legacy Flux Engine version 2.0, also available on the legacy prime plan. This will just be a really quick video, or basically a really quick tutorial on the Flux Engine. So I will be actually doing a update with this one. My plan was to release the update this weekend, but I may actually need more time figuring the settings out a little bit. But I do have the runtime profile, which is basically presets. This is really just risk metric. This is really just units. You can do points, ticks, or pips. I keep as points. And then target delta is just another name for profit. So I keep it as 35 points. Failure threshold, This is just another name for stop loss. I keep this as 50 points. And then this is just a go down period. I may change this to minutes rather than bars. And then this is just the inversion method. So if it gives you like a buy signal, it just flips to sell signal. This is just no trade zone. This occurs at the end of the trading session. And then of course we get the trading session right there. This is just an EMA filter line. And these are the long confluences. So if you look at the strategy report, I have to fix this because this strategy is using a look ahead bias. But yeah, I may have to fix that update pretty soon. But there's not really much to it. You may just have to experiment with the different settings. So let's see. So it took a winning trade right there, winning trade. So it had 1, 2, 3, basically 4 winners. And let's what else? 5 winners. This is loser. 6 winners. So basically 6 winners and 1 loser for night. So and then we had 1 winner, loser, 2 winners, and then a loser. Then we had 2 losing trades, winner, loser, winner. So you probably don't want to actually let this Flux Engine run. There's no need to take all the signals. I maybe 1 or 2 signals of the Asia session is good enough. But yeah, always test this first on a demo account before you actually start applying this to an actual eval account or actually funded account. But there's not really much to it. You just look at the strategy report and you just select basically whichever ones you want. Let's say this one. Nothing really changed there if you unselect that. So that changed. So I probably want to have that check. That's basically how I know. Just look up the strategy report and start checking boxes until you can get the best P&L and the lowest drawdown. Basically the best possible strategy you could possibly get. And then of course you want to adjust your take profit right there. This is just for now. I will be actually revamping the entire settings for the Flux Engine, hopefully improving it a lot more. All right, that's all I'm going to be discussing in this video. If you do find value, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. And all the links for all of this will be in my description. And the third-party provider I'm using is called Traders Post. The link of that will be in my description, and use my discount code Legacy 2026 for basically a discount. All right. Well, without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next video.